princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Nature Republic by something something by Flower Airy Cotton Blusher. It's not really written on the packaging whatsoever, which is very frustrating, but that's fine because the numbers are on the top, which I really enjoy. So I wanted to pick up these blushes because I do really enjoy a nice liquid blush, and I thought that the colour selection was really pretty. I was really interested by the title as well, an airy cotton blush. It just sounded very intriguing, so that's why I was interested in the product. So for this one, the product description says, "Perfectly named, this blusher adheres closely to skin for an airy and velvety finish. Blends out easily to create a natural looking effect. Fitted with an angled doe foot applicator for precise application on cheekbones. Choose from 4 pastel colours: ginger beige, coral dahlia, rose peach and pale lavender." The packaging of this product is very simple but very effective. I really enjoy that they have different coloured tubes because it makes it very easy to identify which one I'm wanting to use. I also really like the doe foot applicator. It's probably my favourite applicator for any kind of liquid blush. It gives you a lot more precision than a lot of applicators would. There are 4 colours in the collection, and I think that all 4 are very pretty. I definitely have my favourites, of course, but I think that it's a really nice variety. So the first shade is called Ginger Beige, which is like a light peachy kind of colour. So that's kind of how I would apply it to start with. So I just put straight on the skin from the doe foot applicator, and then I would blend it in using my finger. And so this is what Ginger Beige looks like on one side of my cheek, not on this side. This is quite a pretty colour. It's just like a little bit more sort of like day-to-day wearable. I do find that it is quite orange in real life though. It looks really nice on the camera. But yeah. So this is Ginger Beige. Shade number 2 is Dahlia Coral. This one has a little bit more pinky tones than Ginger Beige. So it's definitely more of a coral colour, but yeah, that's kind of pretty much all I can really describe it as, like a coral. So this one is a lot more pigmented, so you can obviously see the colour a lot more, though still struggling with the lighting in the second room. But this is very bright. These are very blendable though, so even though it's a darker colour, it still blends out pretty nice. So that is what Dahlia Coral looks like. So without. I normally don't wear a huge amount of this one, so I would put a little bit less product on, and that would just help me to blend it out a little bit easier. When you put powder on, these will dim down just a little bit, but not a huge amount. So you don't completely lose all of the colour, which is really nice. But if you go a little bit over the top like I have a tendency to do, then you won't end up looking like a full-on clown. So this is number 2, Coral Dahlia. Number 3 is Rosy Peach, which is probably my favourite because it is the pinkest of the pinks, but it is very pigmented, so I can only really apply a very small amount because it is quite bright. I should have applied a lot less than this as well, but that's okay. If I ever apply too much, so what I do is I try and blend it out with my finger first, or if I'm being really lazy, I'll blend it out with a cushion puff. But if I do my finger first, I can get most of the blending done, and then I can dab over the top of the cushion puff and make it a little bit less clowny. Because see how now I've got blush all the way up here, like this very big surface area now. So I'm going to quickly use my cushion puff, which has a little bit of cushion on it still, and I'm just going to blend around the outside part. So around here where I want a little bit less blush, and then underneath as well to make it look a little bit less over the top. And so that gives it a little bit of a nicer blend. So this is what number 3 Rosy Peach looks like in the cheek without. I'm going to use an even smaller amount on this cheek, so I'm just going to dab like that. For some reason that didn't have any product on the middle of the thing, it just had it on the tip. But even that is like heaps. So I'm just using a bit of like a sort of dragging method for that. And then from there, if I want to, I can put on a little bit more too, making the container so messy. And then I get a much nicer application that way. So this is number 3 Rosy Peach. And then the last shade is Pale Lavender, which I don't think is very pale at all, but that's okay. I think it's a really cool colour over lavender though, like isn't that so nice? I feel like it looks even more blue at the moment because of, oh that was too much. Because of the lighting here. When I set the camera up, I think because the sun is going down, I'm starting to look a little bit on the blue side, but that's okay. This blends out so beautifully. So look how it's kind of like turning a bit pinky. This is such a nice lavender. If you're looking for a really nice like wearable lavender blush that isn't like purple, I would really recommend this one because of how it looks so nice and like purpley pink on the cheeks when it's blended out. Oh, so pretty. So that is pale lavender on one cheek there for that. And then I just do a little bit less on this cheek because I've already got product on my finger. I don't want to overload the second cheek. So that cheek is what I would wear normally, so you can just barely see the colour. That one you can see better on camera, I'm sure, but it looks very, very clown-like for my real, like, everyday makeup. That's just not my vibe. Like, clown-like, I mean, like, as in you can clearly see the colour, which some people like and I don't. But this is number 4, Pale Lavender. So for these blushes, I actually really like them. However, I don't think that they're going to be a standard in my actual collection, which is why they are back in their boxes. But firstly, I'm going to tell you about the good things. So I actually really like all 4 colours. I think that the Ginger Beige, which is the most orange, it actually looks really nice. It's quite a good peachy kind of colour. And then all of the other colours are like standard colours that I would normally like anyway. So I think that the colour range for me particularly is nice. It is very broad. You know, for 4, you've got your orange, your kind of peachy corally colour, a pink, and then a purple, which is a little bit more unusual but definitely very welcome. And the purple isn't too purpley purple. It blends in really nicely and it looks natural, which I again really like. The colours are pretty vibrant. I think Ginger Beige is probably, because it's the lightest colour, it's the one that doesn't show up quite as much, but even on my skin tone I think that it still looked fine. I'm not the palest of the palest, especially at the moment. I'm quite tan for me, which is bizarre, but it does show up really easily. And the other 3 colors are very pigmented, so I think that even if you have a deeper skin tone, you'll probably have at least mostly success with them. They're pretty easy to apply, although because they are a bit more pigmented, I do struggle just a little bit to make myself not look like a clown. The easiest way to do it is to just apply a very small amount of the blusher and then really blend from there. And I don't feel like this blends out too much of the foundation underneath my skin, because underneath the blusher, because sometimes when the blushes are really hard to blend, especially if I have a thicker cream, I feel like I'm rubbing off the foundation underneath to blend the stuff on top, and I don't feel like that for these ones. I think for me the things that I dislike is that they are a little bit too intense for me. I don't like to wear that much blush. I'm quite minimal with the blush. I'm not going for that like e-girl look, which I think is very cute, by the way, but that's not my vibe for everyday life. I am a teacher of small children. It's important to me that I look more natural because that feels a little bit more friendly to them, like as opposed to like if I wear too much makeup, I feel like they look at me and they're like, why are you wearing so much makeup? And I feel like with these blushes it errs on the side of too much for me, and that's why they're not going to be part of my standard collection. I feel like I need to be very precise where I apply them and how much I apply, and because I'm getting up in the morning, it's really early and I'm just trying to get everything done to look as normal as possible, it's a bit too much high maintenance for me. That's pretty much the only reason that I am not going to be keeping them. However, I definitely would recommend them because I think they are really, really cool products. I think that the packaging as well is really good. Obviously these are in boxes at the moment. The boxes are very boring, but the packaging is really nice because it is the specific color of the product. And again, I really like the doe foot. The way that the application is very easy and it's very nice. So I think that they're really good products. So that is it for the review. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!